Hello everyone, and welcome to my 27th video. Happy Halloween! I've been very inactive on YouTube, but I have a good reason. I've been busy with school and work, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I was working as, drumroll please, an atmosphere performer at the Haunt in Canada's Wonderland. I will be putting timestamps at the bottom of the video because this is going to be a long one because I have a lot to talk about. Part 1. Applying to the Haunt. I sent in my application online a month in advance. I signed up to be a monster, which are the characters that are in the mazes. And I got a date for the group audition and interview. Part 2. Audition. During the interview, we were asked questions about safety and how we would respond in different scenarios, such as if a guest was smoking in our maze, to which I responded, I would address them in character by saying, let's say I was a ghost for example, "Don't smoke here, it messes with our flight, you're not allowed." Then we were asked a lot of different questions like that, and there were 3 other people in the room during this process. Then we went on to the group audition, which was my favorite part of the interview. We were brought to a haunted house where we had 1 minute to prepare each scare. There was 7 other people with me at the time. And we had to scare the supervisors. If they thought we were scary, we got the job. The first round was whatever we wanted, second round a group scare, and third round a character scare. For the first round, which was whatever we wanted to do, I sung Ring Around the Rosie while petting a bloody dummy. And when I got to the part, We All Fall Down, another actor jumped out at the supervisor, so it was like a group scare. My second round, which was the real group scare, I was in a cage and I was screaming, "Help me, help me!" And while I was screaming that, 2 of the other actors came at the supervisors. And that was the second round, which was our real group scare. And then the last round, which was the character scare, which was they said, if you pass this round, you will be able to be a atmosphere performer. Because initially I was auditioning to be a monster for the mazes, but they said if you pass this round, you could be an atmosphere performer. So I was like, sure, I'll do this. So what I did was I found this room in the maze with all these buttons all around it. It's like a military base, like some sort of apocalypse bunker with all these military stuff going on. And there was a room with all these buttons and triggers. And I've been eyeing that room for the longest time thinking I would like to use that room. So in the last round, I went to that room and I started frantically pushing the buttons, screaming, "Get out! Get out! You don't want to be here!" And I was like chasing after them, screaming that they shouldn't come any closer. They shouldn't go into the bunker because they're going to die. And it was very, very good. I think it was the best performance I've ever put on. And I cannot reenact it on camera right now because my whole family is home and I don't want to be too loud. Anyway, so then after that, they told me that I got the job and everyone else who auditioned did get the job too. We were great. And then I got to do the costuming and I got my costume. My costume was a dress. Part 3, training. We were given a tour of Wonderland, our scare zones. My scare zone was trick or treat, hence the outfit. And we also got to see behind the scenes, like the makeup room and the break room. I met my coworkers and supervisors and I got my time for my makeup, which was 5:30, which meant I had to be in costume by 5 and ready to get makeup done. We also watched videos on dress code and various employee policies. For the dress code, we needed to wear all black, from our shoes to our gloves. I had dress rehearsal from the 26th from 5 to 9. That was for the employees and invite-only guests. My favorite scare from that night was we scared someone so much that they fell over and their shoe flew off. And then I took the shoe and ran after them screaming, "I have your shoe!" And they were still running, so I gave it to the other actor who was dressed as a clown, and he ran after them, screaming, "I have your shoe." And it was just a big chase of this person to give her back her shoe, but she was so scared that she kept running without her shoe. Part 4, general atmosphere performer stuff. I don't know what to title it. I found online different videos and photos of my character, Anne, and I'm going to be dubbing over top of that as the video plays. I will be leaving a link down below to everybody's social media and YouTube from where I got the videos from, and the photos and all that. It's so much fun developing my character and coming up with different ways to interact with the guests. Anne is very friendly and sometimes startles people because she gets so close to them. She really just wants a friend, even if that means she has to get them at any cost. At the first 30 minutes of the night, the Atmosphere performers would be at front gate, and then they would move to their respective scare zones. Then we go back to front gate at the end of the night for the last 30 minutes. Part 5. Pros and Cons. I figured I would dub over a Get Unready With Me video, as I list off the pros and cons. First I will start off with the cons and end with the pros. Con 1. Late working hours. On an average night, I would work from 5 till 12:30. Keep in mind there was a 30-minute break somewhere in that night. But I'd end up being home by 1 and having to take my makeup off, which meant I would be asleep at 2. If you can get past working late at night, then this is a job for you. Con 2. Unruly guests. For me, this was people swearing and jumping on my backs trying to push me in the sense of thinking that they would scare me that way, which you are not allowed to do. You may not touch the monsters. However, we do have maze attendants who are there to protect us, and if you break those rules, you may get kicked out of the park. The third and final con was cold working conditions. Even with 10 layers, I was very cold, and sometimes I would need to wear a jacket underneath my costume, as well as gloves and hand warmers. On to the pros. Pro 1. Free admission to the park. During your employment at Wonderland, you get free admission to the park. This would have been a pro for me, however, I had a season's pass for the year. Pro 2. Discounts on food and merchandise. I once got an awesome gingerbread funnel cake before work. Pro 3. Meeting amazing and creative people. I made so many new friends from working at the haunt that I wouldn't have otherwise met, who are also just as creative or more so than I am. Part 6. How many layers? I wanted to give you a better understanding of what I wore under my costume. I wore a jacket and 4 t-shirts. I also wore 2 tank tops and an insulated undershirt. Part 7. Thank yous. I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who I worked with during the haunt, including specific groups of people which I'm going to list off right now. Thank you to the incredibly talented makeup artists. Without you, I wouldn't even have a character to begin with. Before going into my first shift, I had no idea who my character was. But because of the makeup artist, I was able to see my character and form a personality around the makeup look. I enjoyed seeing everyone's variations of Anne's stitches. I named my character Anne because she looks like a Raggedy Ann doll. Thank you to the costume department for giving me my dress. I got so many compliments on it and I liked skipping around. Thank you to my supervisors for giving us pep talks and making sure we were okay throughout the night. Thank you to my trick-or-treat crew. I felt like we were one big family and I will miss every single one of you, attendance included. A big thank you to Happy and Lucy, Anne's best scare friends. Thank you to the Atmosphere performers who weren't in my zone. I loved meeting you and coming up with different scares at front gate. To any of the guests who were respectful, I scared, or I had a character interaction with, that includes videos or photos, thank you for making this job so enjoyable. Before I end off the video, I have 2 Disney-related items to show you. My boyfriend got me this key. It is Nightmare Before Christmas themed, and it is to commemorate me working at the haunt. And it was my dream job, so that's a pretty big deal that I got it. And the second key is this Aladdin themed key for when I end up working at Disney World, whenever that may be. I got my first dream job, so anything is possible. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe it taught you something about the haunt if you're planning on being an Atmosphere performer. And happy Halloween. Thanks for watching and see you next time.